Welcome back to RAF, Rape and Sexual Assault Hysteria. Once again, we're welcomed by our beautiful guest, Nicole Williams, and she's sharing her story. So we're going to get back into now. When you saw R. Kelly, the doc, what was going on with you when you saw the first maybe 2 episodes?
I could empathize, like with the ladies. There was no thought of these girls are lying. You know what I mean? Like this, people who are abusers, it's like they've read a freaking manual because they do the same stuff. It's crazy. You would be like, what monster school did y'all go to?
No, it is a monster school. I believe it's an AI
but
program.
It's really it's an abuse school, because I even got to the point to where I could have empathy for R. Kelly too. We have to remember, a person that is abusing people has been abused. Yeah. You ain't grown up with no fairy tale life and you decide, I just want to start beating people, killing people, raping people, molesting. Like, that doesn't come from a joy.
We weren't born into sin. We're not like naturally.
Nah. You don't do that out of joy and happiness, and you know what I mean. That comes from some real shit that's been happened to you. Mm-hmm. So for even him, like, he was raped and molested by an aunt and a whoever. Now everybody can say, "Oh, well, not everybody's behaving that way," but everybody's different.
Yes, we are.
Some people don't get the love after. Some people don't get it out. Some people, he's still stuck at the age that stuff happened to him. The way he's living his life is obviously proof of that. His brothers are a little messed up too, but like all of us are that have gone through stuff. The things that happened to me affected me and how I show up in my life. Mm-hmm. Not trusting people, not trusting my family, thinking that was okay to do that still at 18, 19, because I went through that. If I had not gone through that, I would have never decided to do that. Mm-hmm. It took my own stuff happening to me that made me make decisions that I made later in life. So there's that too. And it's the only way that gets fixed is by saying something. If you catch R. Kelly and you do something at 20, he's not the monster he is now. If my family would have stepped in 3 months before it got bad, my cousin wouldn't be looked at the way that he's looked at. He wouldn't have showed up the way that he showed up if somebody would have said 3 months earlier. That's the difference. If people would speak up and be like, "What's going on? No, stop this now," then it will stop. But if we don't use our own voice, we're a part of the problem.
So was that some of the things that really sparked you, is the fact that, we're, as a society, we don't say anything?
That's exactly it. That's what I got from it. I was like, this is not about R. Kelly. This is happening everywhere. I was like, this is my family. Nobody said anything. Everybody's acting like, and then, yeah. Kind of like, oh, well, what happened? They both made a bad decision. Their bad choice. Oh, well, no big deal. But people don't even know how bad it got. They just know Nicole was with Bob and they was dealing with each other, and then it was over. Mm-hmm. But it was some crazy shit that happened right before that got it there. And then nobody knows that. And I'm like, my family needs to know what happened. Like, because of me seeing that, it finally got me to a place where I need to share this. Like, this needs to get out, because this person actually still shows up this way in his personal life within the family. And we need to take a stand for that. Because maybe if you don't let that person come around, then it lets them know that they got to go do the work.
Mm-hmm. Or at least they're challenged.
Yeah, they're challenged. And I get that some family members, they didn't know what to do with it. I'm like, one of my aunts told me that. She was like, "Nicole, I just really didn't know what to do at the time, because I asked her." And I can accept that. You know what I mean? Because she really answered that from an honest place. Like, I just did not know what to do. And I was like, I get it. But there's something we could have done. Like, even just the reaching in to talk to find out what happened. But me seeing that, and my aunt, my grandmother's sisters, everybody being kind of numb to it because it had been happening to them all their lives. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like that first they didn't have any empathy, because it's like, that's the norm. They've been beat by husbands and boyfriends. One of my grandmother's sisters was like, she was, almost somebody tried to rape her, and it was just like all these stories sitting in a room. I went to share, but then everybody else is saying something happened to them. Some people are saying it and it don't even mean anything anymore at this point. So me bringing up my thing at 19 years, it was kind of like, well, why are you bringing it up now? And I'm like, I'm bringing it up now because it should have been brought up then.
So just the audience is clear. So after you saw the R. Kelly, then you started to reach back
Yeah, I actually I did a post about this on Instagram. I didn't know I was gonna come and become this amazing thing that people had a lot to say about it. But I was like, I'm taking a stand to let my family know what happened, but not to say what happened to blame anybody or to put guilt on into anyone or to attack my cousin. Like it's old, but to say I want to transform my family. I want us to handle situations like this better. I want us to reach out. If we see something going on, that we say something about it. We do something about it. We ask questions. We get help from somebody else in the family. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you didn't know what to do, find somebody else that knows what to do. But we get what we need to fix the situation versus gossiping about it. Oh, so-and-so. Oh, you did, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's crazy.
Do you think as family that it's overwhelming and it really kind of freezes our emotions and it becomes kind of standard? Well, if I stay here, freeze and don't do anything about it, maybe it'll go away.
That's the pattern, and it really comes down to, if this is how we are in our family, this is how we are in our real life. This is the reason I do self-development work, so that I know how to show up better in my life and I'm not repeating the same cycles that I grew up. Mm-hmm. It's the reason that I've always looked out for more in my life. I was like, I don't want to be like my family. I want to be better than that. I want to change it. Mm-hmm. That's literally been my affirmation growing up as a kid into my teen years, and it still is who I am today. That's the reason I'm a life coach. The reason I teach pole dance and do fitness, because it all allows me to coach people and tap into where people are and get them to break through out of their walls, or to educate them on how to handle life in a better way. Like, that's what I get to do, and it's because of all those experiences, or else I wouldn't even be doing that.
So now what happened? You posted it?
So I posted a video talking about like how I had my own R. Kelly in my family. Not that he was a pedophile, but just just ways of abuse, the manipulation, the threatening,
the violence.
Yeah, the physical, being a physical
psychological
abuser.
Probably,
yes.
Verbal, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
The kid we was talking about.
The monster kid. The whole doctorate on that program over there, boy.
I mean, just break. It is amazing to me that you see that pattern, and you see that same pattern within people. I've noticed it because I had my own self-discovery a couple years ago when I realized that my mother was had reoccurring dreams of being sexually assaulted by my grandma, and she brought that up, and I just straight up asked her because I saw her pattern matching somebody else's pattern I was in a relationship with. And I just straight up asked her. I said, Mom, were you sexually molested as a child? She said she had never, ever told anybody that she was having reoccurring dreams. And it just, it lifted such a weight off because it started to make sense of what was going on in the relationship, why sometimes we had such conflict and there was such things that were being done. It's like, who is this person at the moment? And so for me to actually get like, oh, wow, all that time I thought it was me and I'm trying to like dodge it. And well, if I be quiet, so I get the psychological. I dealt with psychological abuse. Mm-hmm. So it was brought to attention, and so now you're starting to have conversations with your family?
Yeah, so this was actually the day of my grandmother's funeral and repast that this conversation happened.
Wow.
And it was like perfect divine timing because all the families. So you have my grandmother's sister, you have my aunt, mom, and then a few cousins. So you have about like anywhere from 10 to 15 women that were there. So this was like the women of the family who I was having this discussion with. Like doing something big, doing something from a
and how close proximity was it after the Instagram?
Like a week.
Wow. So you put the Instagram post
talking about the R. Kelly situation, talking about how it related to me and how everybody needed to realize this was not about R. Kelly, but that this was our own family, and that instead of projecting all the energy onto him, look at our own family to see where this is happening.
See where
that's what my post was about.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then many
grandmother
people,
who was the grandmother in your life, she passed.
She passed on January 1st.
Wow.
And on the day, I was like, okay, all my family's together on this day. And I was like, I had that thought, is this the time to do it? Heck yeah, it is. Like, my grandmother's dead. She ain't gonna have a problem with it. She's dead. And literally, I prayed that she be my angel and watch over for that situation. I feel like she was in the room, very much present. And that was my gift.
Mm-hmm.
That became possible because of her death.
Yeah.
That brought a new life into the family, right?
So now, what was some of the effect of this conversation on you and her?
So it was funny because I was trying to like build the courage of like, how do I tell? Like
Of
I told
course.
4 of my cousins, my guy cousins.
I know, all kind of conversations going
It
on
took
prior.
me 30 minutes to talk to my guy cousins as I'm standing at the table while they're sitting. It took me 30 minutes. I literally had like a little guy right here, like, no, say something right now, Nicole. Girl, just leave it alone. Just wait. Maybe call him later. Like, I was stressing.
I know.
And it was like, there was some people kept looking back at me like, is she okay? And I was like, hey guys, I was like, you guys know the situation with me and, so-and-so. And I was like, I really want to talk to you guys about that. Let you guys know what happened. I was like, not to attack, cause any drama today, but I just feel it's important that you guys know. So my cousins, he's one of the older ones. He was like, Nikki, it's all good. Because it is, I want to do that with you. Like right now is not the time. He was like, let's do it later when more people have. Well, my cousin was still there, the one that this situation happened with. So it was like, I feel like he kind of, because he knew that talk was happening that day. But we didn't end up doing it with my guy cousins. But the women, everybody else was gone by the time I was about close to 7 o'clock. And as I was about to leave and not have the courage, and actually 5 minutes before that, a friend called me and prayed over for that situation. And then I was about to leave. I was out today. And then the R. Kelly thing popped up in the news.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And then 2 of my grandmother's sisters and one of my
I'm
aunts.
sorry. I'm just stripping off of the moment. Like, you're going through all this stressors, and, I'm sure your heart, and like, you got that little thing at the pool where should I jump in?
Yeah.
And then the R. Kelly thing comes
as
up.
I'm saying my goodbyes.
Wow.
And it was so funny because in my mind earlier that day, that's actually how I wanted it to happen. I was like, I hope the R. Kelly situation pops up on the TV so that I can blah, blah, blah. And it literally happened that way. And then the next thing that happened was 2 of my grandmother's sisters and one of my aunts say, they need to leave that man alone. They're just trying to bring him down. And then in that moment, I'm like, this face I'm speaking. And in that moment, I had to go. Just in that moment, I realized if I was 19 or last year, I would have said, fuck my family. Just in that moment, I would have walked out.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew to look past that and to listen through that listening and to stand in the space of, no, this conversation still needs to happen. It's not about what they think about it. It's just that I need to speak about it and let them know why what they're saying is really in contradiction to who they say that they are.
So when your aunt said that, what was your response?
I was like, really? I was like, they were like, yeah, them little girls know what, not the little girls, but them girls knew what they were doing. They knew they wanted to go over there to that man's house. They knew they knew who he was. And I was like, don't nobody sign up for that. I said, these girls went over here to be around a celebrity, be around a man that they think is nice. I said, they did not go to his house to be locked into their rooms, to not be fed, to be peed on, and to have sex videos made of them, and to be threatened. I was like, nobody fucking signs up for that.
So, so we're going to look at a video clip here. This is something that I actually produced 10 years ago about R. Kelly, and it was pretty interesting. Some ways some of the fans reacted. It was at R. Kelly concert here at the Forum here in Inglewood, California, which is right down the street. So we're going to take a look at this clip, and then we're going to comment, and we'll be right back.
Wednesday, a shocking development. Police arrested a popular singer on child pornography charges.
Danger, danger.
First of all, I'm not aware of anything like that.
Watch your children.
And for unknown people to make those statements against me is ridiculous.
Do not let this man urinate on your children.
We have to remember here what we're talking about is the protection of young children from sexual predators.
Most definitely. It's scary.
How's it scary?
Just taking the religion out of the school system, the way you can discipline your children, the way people accepted the whole R. Kelly thing.
I will never, ever, ever not be an R. Kelly fan.
Because me, I'm at fault also. When I saw it, I was like, she is way too grown. Like, she's doing way too much.
R. Kelly is not guilty.
Even though you saw the text.
I got all 4 of them on tape. She performed better than any porno I ever seen.
And immediately I blamed her. I mean, I didn't blame her, but I did not fault R. Kelly immediately. I mean, it took some time and some people going, are you serious?
Yeah, R. Kelly was wrong for what he did, but, you know, the girl in the situation was just as wrong.
Some 11-year-olds look 18. They look 30 nowadays. Okay. They're tall, they're well developed. They've grown up with older sisters and neighbors. They act like 18-year-olds.
And we've had a lot of different pedophile situations. We have the pre-scenarios, you know, we see the Predator on NBC, Dateline all the time. What is America's fascination with, you know, children?
It's an illegal act and he's contributing to it and he's participating in it. So he should be prosecuted.
A minor does not have the legal consent to be able to consensually have sex with an adult.
It's been a taboo subject, but with the arrest of certain celebrities who are nationally known, such as Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, the Catholic priest national scandal, more attention is being focused in on it. We're dialoguing about it more, and the black community has realized we do have a problem with sexual incest, sexual assault of our children in our community, and now's the time not just to talk about it, but to take a stand against it.
We know these young girls are innocent because their will was taken away from them as a child, and they were put to use in the most degrading way possible for their spirit. So we are looking to put these men in jail and punish them for a long period of time.